Some people I haven't seen in a while. I'm so happy. Hi. I mean, Candy.
Hey.
Welcome. Hey, Candy has some good news. You want to share, Candy?
Oh, we have another grandson or
Oh,
another
yay.
granddaughter. Oh, we have another grandchild. So he has a big sister. So I have a granddaughter and a grandson now,
That's
That's awesome.
awesome.
20
In
months
the
apart.
in the Seattle area, right?
Yeah, they're in Ballard, Sunset Hill.
Awesome. And Miss Gretchen just sent me a picture of her grandchild, who's a giant now. Giant. When I left Seattle, she was like what, like 12 months or
I think she was
something?
born the year you left. Maybe.
Yeah, she was a baby.
Yeah.
So you feed them and they keep growing.
Yes, we do.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, friends.
Okay.
It is time. So, oh, Stevie, do you want to say hi? I know who you are. Stefar in the dark. I know you. Hi. Are you
My
going to say hi?
audio on?
Hi, buddy. Haven't seen you in a long time.
Hi there. I'm not sure if you're talking to me or not.
I am Stefar.
Hi.
Hi, welcome. Hooray.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. It's still dark in my room because I'm photosensitive.
Hmm.
But I opened up my little window to the atmospheric river we're having in California, and this is as much light as I'm getting right now. So I'm not totally mysterious.
It was really validating. I thought I sent Safara something from about mystics, hermit mystics, and how some people are called to be in the darkness for long periods as hermit mystics. And so I hoped that that was validating.
Oh. I have to say that my spiritual life and my physical life seems to manifest it. Oh no, wait, I'm not sounding right. It seems like what I go through spiritually, I go through in my body.
Yeah, some of us more than others. Me too, buddy. Okay, so it's time. So we're gonna start. What I'm gonna do is this is not a meditation. Oh my gosh. It's like I have been just like, we're gonna have meditations, come higher, have water with people. But today we're gonna be having chats. So that's awesome. But of course, first some meditation, just a minute in the beginning and the end, just a minute. And then Katie and I are gonna do some sharing after you guys tune in and notice for yourselves what you're here for. So just allow yourself to notice the chair and let your weight sink a little more into the chair. Just trust the chair. It's what I do when I'm in amusement parks. Trust the engineers, Wendy, trust the engineers. So just let go and trust the chair. Trust the chair builders and let go, like sand in your hands of whatever you're done with. Let it just fall out past the chair and down to the center of the earth. Let go of what you're done with, like sand in your hands. Good. And just give your weight to the earth. Oh, and now let's breathe in from the universe, filling your chest and belly gently, and release that breath down to the center of the earth. And just at your own rate, continue to breathe in the breath of the divine, the great cosmic wind. Breathe into your chest, belly. Just increase a little bit, not uncomfortable, and then release as if you're disturbing the dust in your space, stuff you're done with, and then take that breath and release it down to the center of the earth and keep doing that. Breathing in the breath of the divine and out with the old. Good. And keep breathing. And let's say hello to a sun, an sun above your head at the at, at the ceiling-ish. Just let a golden sun shine. And ask that to represent your unique experience today of your source. Let that golden light flow through you, receiving the goodness. And let it warmly flow through you like a warm spring breeze or a warm sun on a sunny day, melting away what's not you and filling you up with your experience of your source sunlight. Somebody stop me. Okay, so now that we're here, be in the center of your head, behind and a little above your eyes. While we're here, all of you have done this at least a little bit. So please just keep using your tools as we have the conversation today, and it'll make it much more comfortable for everyone. And just notice for yourself, breathing and centered and grounded and full of light. Notice just one little thing. It doesn't have to be giant. One little thing that you're here for today. Insight about this, or understanding about that, or change about the other thing, or drinking more love, something. Anything that you want. It can be anything. And just notice a word or a phrase. And let's ask that, since I'm talking about love and we're talking about love, let's ask the sun to be shining beautiful golden light that includes wonderful, wonderful experience of love that is flowing through us. And when you're ready, please unmute if you want to share. I'd love to hear your name and where you are and just your word or phrase. Um, so, Connie, are you comfortable going first and then Candy?
I am. Am I on?
You are.
Okay. I have to switch devices. I'm Connie. I'm in Merle's Inlet, South Carolina. And abundant love has been something I've purposely been dwelling on for the past few days. And so when you invited me to this, I just thought I'd come and join for that reason.
Awesome. So glad, Connie. Okay. Candy and then Gretchen.
I'm Candy, and I'm in Arizona at the moment, but I divide my time between Washington and Arizona. Um, it's kind of echoey in here. I don't know if you can tell. It's a big empty room because we just moved out of this house. And I just came like curiosity because I've been sort of disconnected from it because our life is kind of busy right now. So just Wendy sent me the text and I was like, oh, I think I'm free at this time, unusually so. So I'll just come and check it out.
Awesome. So glad to see you. Okay, Gretchen and then Jeff.
I go by Jen now.
Sorry, Jen.
I took the wretch out of it and threw it away, and now I'm Jen. But you can call me whatever you want to, whatever you used to will work. I was born in the year of the dragon, and today I found a dragon. And Connie, you said
love and abundance. And this is a season of self-love and encouraging others to self-love and really, truly moving big time into abundance. So I'm heading back to Argentina shortly, and life is good.
Awesome, Jen. Thanks. Okay, Jeff and then Stafar.
Hi, I'm Jeff in Central Massachusetts. And when we were just doing our little mini meditation, somehow I thought about Chopped, the television show Chopped. I feel like I'm at this point in my life where I have this basket of really good things that I don't know how to like integrate them and put them together. So I don't know, I'm interested in figuring out a way to assemble a really bizarre list of things that seem like they want to be integrated, and I don't quite know how.
Cool. Thanks, Jeff. Stafar, if you want to share, now's the time. And Jess, I'm not clear. It says you do want to share. If you do, then unmute and will play. Otherwise, stay muted.
Says my ears are bad. I didn't hear what the full question is.
Your name, where you are, and a phrase or a sentence about what you're looking for today.
Oh, well, my name is Stephen Fakori, also known as Stavar, as well as Stevie, Steven. Anyway, I live in Northern California in the woods, and I'm looking forward to community in a world where I have lost all my community in the last year, and it's been devastating. And it's basically because I'm finding my voice and I'm speaking up to all the people who are narcissistic and like to take people apart behind the scenes and just baby drill, or drill, baby, whatever. It's a constant thing that I did not know was going on in my life with my friends and family and in-laws. I was largely ignorant to, but I I got a lot of psychic stuff going on for a long time that's been increasing, that has increased my anxiety to the level where I've become antisocial. And I turned down many invitations, including my own birthday party that was going to be thrown for me, as well as Christmas and Thanksgiving. I've stayed home and passed on invitations
Yeah.
because I'm going through such a hard time. So it's very hard for me to now say something when I've learned to be quiet.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad you're here, and thanks for sharing. And um, you're very much in the right place. And in general, I want to encourage, like, part of the good thing about us getting together is being like, oh, I'm attracted to that person. Let me contact and see if they want to have tea online together or whatever. Like, if you find some group, somebody that is interesting, connect. And in general, this is a place where, not today so much, but where we have the practice of tools that help to make it easier to moderate our soul senses, to handle energy and spiritual stuff that's going on beyond the physical. So I'm assuming Jess doesn't want to talk. Jess says they're here because happen to be free and curious, so yay. And Jill is and Christy, you're next if you want to share. And Jill is really been really busy and tired, but she's here, hooray. And Christy, would you like to share? And then we'll go on to the next part.
Yep. Hi, everybody. I'm Christy Hoffby. I recently moved to Las Vegas. And so when Wendy sent the invitation, just really enjoy her company, really enjoy her insights. So just came to get uplifted and to uplift and to just be in good space.
Christy. Okay. And Katie, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Katie. I am in the DC area. Not to be confused with living in DC, because people don't like when you say that when you don't live in DC, but I live right outside. And I'm here because Wendy asked me to come and have a conversation today. And so I just, I don't know, the word that came was just kind of like at peace and centered, and like looking to have that sensation. It's never a bad sensation, right? So fine. Recenter, realign. That meditation felt really great. I don't know. It was good.
Awesome. Cool. All right. I think if you guys want to turn off your video, you're welcome to do that if you want to keep it on. We're going to be, Katie and I are going to be sharing for a little bit and then ask for you guys for questions and feedback and then share a little bit like that, a little bit back and forth. But for now, how about we just, we just turn it down and you don't have to worry about it. And then I'll ask you to unveil later. So, Kate, before we really jump in, everybody here pretty much knows me. Let me just say, my name is Wendy, and I'm about an hour and a half above Tampa in Florida right now. And we've been living in our RV for a year and 2/3, living and working around the world, around the East Coast and upper Michigan. What I got was what I was encouraging you guys about, just being even more in the flow of the experience of love and oneness, validation. And you guys all know I've been doing this work for really full on for about 21 years, 21 and a quarter years, half years. And I got so excited about it when I was about 2/3 of a year in, 3/4 of a year in. My life was absolutely transforming and my inner life was absolutely transforming and my well-being was increasing and my et cetera, et cetera. I'd been really ill and I couldn't work for a very long time and I started to be able to work part-time. And I was just like, dude, this stuff works. I have to like learn how to be a teacher. It's like, first of all, I can't be a teacher. Second of all, I can't say things like you are spirit. So I had no idea like how I would be a teacher. But yeah, the rest is history. I did it. And so that's a little about me. But Kate, I'd love if you shared, if you would, just a minute or two about like what your relationship with this practice is over time. Is that comfortable?
Sure. Yeah. So I guess I went to a meditation class with Wendy and my mom took me. So I was like, I want to say I was about 10 or 11. And so I went and experienced it. And, at 10, some of it clicked and a lot of it was over my head at the time. And but enough that some of the tools connected with my little brain. And so I, had that kind of introduction to it. And here and there, we would attend a workshop or something along those lines. And then I guess I was a junior in high school. So 16, 17, and kind of my life flipped upside down, circumstantially out of my control and trying to deal with this concept of change and, how your reality changes out and you have no, especially, as a teenager, you don't have the control that you'd like. And so I started working with Wendy more one-on-one at that point, and we worked closely for probably 6 or 7 years, kind of through my whole college transition and getting out into the world by myself and becoming an adult. And, and so through that, facing all of the bumps on the road and uh, facing them with tools and really, supportive and wonderful conversation as well. But we would start a session with conversation and end a session with meditation, and slowly the ratio built and built. And and because I for a long time I think an hour-long meditation or deep work was just more than I could stomach, certainly physically. My body was not interested in sitting in it. And so we really met me where I was and worked our way through. And by the end of that kind of time period, I was able to be with it more and use the tools. And in that, not only did I face the bumps, if you will, but I also think it allowed me to flourish in ways that never would have been my reality, because I would have been stuck in my own head, or I would have been, holding myself back or uncomfortable. It gave me the tools to be brave and bold and to love myself in a deeper way, and definitely to heal myself. And that, came to fruition in my external reality too. So, yeah.
And you and I were just talking about how so many people that I know are just like, oh, I wish I knew this when I was younger. I wish I had this before I messed so many things up. And I was talking to you the other day, and I was saying, well, just remember before you knew the tools, and you're just like,
I don't really, I can't really remember a time when I didn't at least know how to ground. Right. And yeah, I mean, of course I remember a little bit, but certainly don't remember like the emotional experience. So
that's
yeah.
okay. So, did you want to share anything in particular so far, Kate, around love or relationships, or do you want me to go on about
Sure.
something?
Go ahead. You can go for a bit.
Okay. Well, y'all here that know that I teach basic tools to help make change and to say yes to new experiences on the inside and goodbye to what we're done with on the inside, and be able to turn up and down our soul senses, blah, 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 blah. But what I want to talk about is this special thing called being the love you want work. And that is something, just like everything else that I've done, like I learned a bunch of things, a foundation. And then what I do is I play with masters. I follow spirit, and I get all this cool stuff to do. So I got this cool thing that I call being the love you want. Excuse me. And I've been doing it with people most of the last 12 Februarys. And first, I want to say that the reason it works well is that it's very simple. And what it does is it has me taste, feel, experience love the way I have experienced it or want to experience it. So instead of asking for love or asking for a color of energy or asking for a general thing, I ask specifically for a time when love was very real for me. And then I invite that energy from heaven and earth and from deep in my soul, where I can access the divine with tools. That's like what we do in practice. But I bring it in, and just like when I was in this person's arms or wanting this relationship or feeling really great in oneness with the divine or whatever that time was when my needs were met, I get my needs met. And a lot of people find this accessible and useful. And I want to say two things about it. One is that what I've noticed working with a lot of people around love, their own flavors of love that's real and delicious for them. Most people, all but one people, um, the biggest parts of their experience of love, including me, are the oneness experience, that part experience of being connected. And what I call validation, which is the sacred truth of of uh, of divine truth that is um, usually something like I'm okay, you're okay, I'm okay, you're okay. Um, that I or you can be seen and accepted, chosen, that something like that, wanted. Um, so those two things are what a lot of people experience as the base of love. And then everybody I've noticed experience different things like, excuse me, like safety, excitement, feeling beautiful, on and on and on. There's all these like different taste tones, even in my own experience, like depending on which love I'm accessing, it has different taste tones. But so I just wanted to share that because that's a really extraordinary thing. And that's oneness experience and that's sacred truth experience of validation. And the only other thing I wanted to share about this is that what it's done for me. And I've always been driven by love, um, and wanting more. Um, in my experience of the divine and in my experience of my intimates. And I never got enough. I never got enough. Um, and then I started doing this work and it was like, holy, I'm just full, like full. So I could stop chasing around the other people to try to get them to give me these things. It like really worked for me, even though when I started doing it, I'd been doing this work for, I don't know, guessing 7 years or something. This being the love you want work really made a difference for me. So that's some of my share about why I'm so excited about the Love Month stuff. Katie, does this inspire anything for you to say?
Yeah. I think, that kind of taps right into my biggest experience with, like doing the work to therefore like be able to experience love in the world in a way that seemed blocked or whatever you want to say, of just like this feeling of, like my person's never going to show up, or like it just seems, kind of helpless. You feel like you're behind the times or something along those lines. And I just, by experiencing it internally, right? Like experience the desire, experience the feeling of intimacy and connectedness and, all of those kind of things that you're craving and trying to find everywhere that isn't you. And doing that through different tools that we have and in experiencing it that way. And then all of a sudden, you're exuding like almost like a magnet, right? Like you're exuding the thing that you're craving. And then all of a sudden, like it finds itself in the world all around you. Um, it's instead of like desperately seeking it, it's, I've been able to already experience it and know that it's within. And I think my biggest growth would be through self-love and, self-acceptance and that kind of journey and chapter. And, um, it's something that I struggled with, I guess, for quite a while and still do. Everybody does in one way or another, but like utilizing validation and the energy of validation and, bringing up the thing where I'm feeling so much invalidation or feeling so insecure about and confronting it from center of head in a safe manner and and then energetically drowning it in the validation and the in that truth, um to then kind of reabsorb it internally and start to shift perspective and then like I said, you just start to exude it, and then and then you become a magnet for it in a way that it never seemed possible. So yeah, that's what I was connecting with as you were talking. And anyway,
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up because it's like it's such a turnaround from like gimme to I've got it, and then it's coming to me because I'm already it.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, one thing I was wondering about when you were sharing, Kate, is like, what did it look like starting to be in relationships? And, there's stuff, there's love, but there's other stuff in the way. There's all the shoulds and oughts, and they have
Yeah,
to be like this and they can't be like that. And like,
right.
so is there anything you want to say about that?
Yeah, I guess like a big part of it was not only, dealing with my own invalidation, but also dealing with, the programming and the stories people have woven, into my reality and my past. And um, there's some deep trust issues in my, like in my family, my history, right? And it's crazy how that's kind of thing starts to reveal itself, and you can like verbalize and look and say, this isn't mine. And that, we can let that go. This is not my story. This is not my experience. And, um, and confront stuff that is so, deeply woven into upbringing and family way of being. And so working through a lot of, I mean, we like to use the word programming, right? Of what, whether it was from people or church or experience, right? Like I just had so many stories and little voices and concepts and thoughts, and that's in the way of me and my reality and my experience and my needs, wants, and joys. um so working through that kind of stuff and letting that go to make space for the love and goodness and
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. And I just really want to emphasize this because it's so much a part of our lives that we don't always even notice it. Like just the way that this culture that we grew up in and our families and all this stuff, it's just the already always listening, the already always everyone knows this is just true. And to be able to be just like notice, oh, wait, that is the story, which everyone's living with around here, but I could let it go
Mhm.
and allow a different experience.
Yeah.
And you don't have the answer, but like, how does this play out? You're recently married and, and own a home and like all these like grown up things. And life just keeps, coming at us, right? So like, how does this stuff help just in the everyday?
it's almost hard to answer because I don't, so often I'm utilizing things that I'm not even like realizing, oh, like, getting in a little bit of conflict about, right? Like having feelings and emotions about, this, the kitchen should be this way, or like, right? Like the dishwasher should be I didn't realize how much like a dishwasher loading is a great like visual image of like life
Yes.
and relations and working with other people, and like I think it should be loaded this way, but somebody else thinks it should be loaded that way. And then someone comes to visit and they do it a whole different, right? Like, and,
Yes.
and even in that like instantaneous moment of like, I open my dishwasher and they're being helpful. It's so great. They're here and they're putting dishes away for me. How nice. And it's like, you have that moment and you're like, you want to, I have like an instantaneous moment of like internal rage that and then I like, okay, and bring it back, like bring it back to reality, right? So if before I even open that dishwasher, right, if I'm in body of glass, if I'm coming from a more neutral place instead of this is perfect picture, this is how it should be. And then I can just appreciate, oh, how nice they put the glass in there already. I don't have to do that. So all day, every day, it just comes up. I'm in my own, like like my close relationships, but even like in my work situations, you
Hmm.
step into a meeting, or back in the day I used to teach, and I'm stepping into the classroom and it's not always, nothing's fitting in the boxes the way I think it should, but that doesn't mean it's all wrong and it isn't insalvageable, and so it's like, okay, put on the neutral big girl pants and like truck forward and work with what we got today. And um I think, yeah, so I mean, the tools, being grounded, being in my own center of head, before I walk, right? I'm walking into a social situation that either I'm not comfortable because I don't know many people, or whatever the case may be. It's like, okay, if I can be senior here, if I can be grounded and walk in, feeling that gives people the opportunity to also, come in a little bit more senior on themselves too.
Yeah.
I think that is one of the most powerful things about this work is it doesn't just impact me, because I then have an impact on the people I'm interacting with, right? When I don't
Mhm.
like ignite over the silliest little thing that could really upset me, and I can respond in like okay, here, this is what you're saying, but let's rehash where this is coming from, or whatever that might be. If I can be like that changes the whole interaction, and it impacts everybody around me, and impacts then how they relate in conversation and things. So, I mean, that's a little less love focused, if you will, but that's,
It's important to love.
it's all intertwined in my brain. So sometimes I have a hard time, like,
Yeah.
just separate this, because it all just weaves from one to the next.
Hmm. Yeah. And you were saying before, we were talking about you're just doing the tools. You're just doing them. And
Yeah.
I talk to a lot of people about this and about how, we practice sitting up in chairs, like calling it active meditation. But the whole idea is to bring it to the world in which we can dance with what shows up and stay in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
And we're talking about that.
Yeah.
So Christy is saying, gotta go. Thanks so much for coming, Christy. All right. So I mean, there's tons of stuff we can talk about here, but I just wanted to give you guys a chance, you guys who are here, a chance if you want to unveil. You don't have to, but if you want to, and say like what you're noticing in the conversation, how it relates to your experience, or questions you might have for us, for Kate, because this is her only time. Anything you might want to say? Jeff?
Can I throw something out?
Yeah, please.
Um, one of my struggles with all this is maybe it's by upbringing and stuff, but when like tools is one domain and loving is a different domain. And like it feels like very kind of technical to engage tools, and like crossing that bridge kind of to like engaging things like love that traditionally I wouldn't I wouldn't have that kind of like technical approach to. um that like that's a like yeah, I don't know, that's just something I notice a lot of. Like sometimes I get so mechanical with the tools that I'm not very emotional, I think. So I don't know if either of you has anything you'd like to say about that, but I'd love to hear it if you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the one thing I would say is like on the big stuff, on the big like emotional stuff, like I'll take that situation or that thing and I'll go, in my next like more intentional meditation moment and like handle it from a safe place and look at it deeper and and be like, why did I feel this way, why did like, and start to pull into it a little bit more, but in my own safe moment, separated in a way, because if I can heal and deal with it on my own, then the next time it comes up, whether it's with that person or just the next experience, that um I seem, without even realizing it, I seem to handle it better because I've unpacked it for myself a little more, and maybe it's shown wounds or things that I needed to spend more time on that I didn't even realize were there. And then you know what are your thoughts, Wendy?
I'm just noticing, Jeff, like, because I know you, I think I understand some of your experience. And so in meditation, it's my understanding that sometimes you'll utilize tools and then you'll come to this place of oneness. And sometimes you'll come to this place of dancing in the sacred truth or something, that everything's all right. Right. And so it's just I'm curious, like, those are freaking awesome love experiences that not everybody has, by the way, but you do. And so that's happening. And then but what I think I'm hearing you say is like in the one-on-one, like with intimate relationships, that's when you don't feel like the tools.
Yeah, it's a little bit of that. It's a little bit of I don't know, maybe it's just all my old deconstructed evangelical baggage and stuff, but it feels almost a little bit like you say the prayer just the right way, and then the what's the gambling thing where you pull the arm down? I can't even slot machine.
Yeah,
Then like the
that's
slot machine God is gonna like pay off because you did it in the right way. Um
Mm.
so I guess that's what I'm wrestling with a little bit of. Like it starts to feel a little bit with the tools, like am I just like hoping that I get 3 cherries or whatever it is that would get you all the money and stuff.
It's a great image.
I love the image.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I I'm not really comfortable. There's different people who share these kinds of tools that I learned from some other people to begin with, and what I didn't like is they seem to treat God as a short order cook, and I did not enjoy that. Um, that's not at all where I come from. Where I come from is that the the buffet's already here. The 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 buffet's already, lining three. Have you ever been to like those? So cool in the old days. There's these buffet salad bars that they just took over like the world, are 20 feet long or something. Um, it's one picture. Another picture is that we're always in the waterfall of these incredible, like, divine qualities. We're always like, they're always here, but I'm like, have my big golf umbrella and my galoshes, and I'm just like, okay, God, I'll let you go bless me a little bit. I think that picture, for me, that picture is very central. And so this picture of yours is kind of like it's the limited. It's
For
like
sure. Yeah.
I have to
Yeah.
like, if I spin around 3 times just the right way and blow my whistle,
Yes.
maybe God will bless me. And like that's the light of clear, I would say.
Yeah.
And instead
Wow.
be like, God and love and truth and beauty are all here. Am I willing to drink them? Am I willing to let them supplant the bullshit? And I'm willing to become them in this world. It's a very different picture.
Yeah.
Tell me how that's landing, Jeff.
Both of those, both your responses from both of you are really, really helpful and extraordinary. Thank you. That's a lot for me to sit with and contemplate. I think that helps a lot.
Awesome. Yeah. So you believe this though? God is here. God
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
real.
Right. Right. And that's a great reminder with me for all of it. It's a little more about like getting the scales off my eyes and a little less like it, it like I've heard somebody talk about Jesus's transfiguration of the question is was Jesus always lit up like that, or did he just like and the magic of the transfiguration was that the scales fell off of everybody's eyes, or was he just like suddenly like a Pink Floyd light show or something right there and then, and hadn't been before, and so you're
Yes.
pushing for the idea that Jesus had always been shiny, or like existence and reality is always like awesome and shiny, and these tools are just ways for me to open up and like experience what's already going on around me. That's pretty cool. I'm into that.
Yes, and I will validate with Merton. Thomas Merton said that. How do you tell people that they're walking around shining like the sun? So I'm not the only one. Yeah, awesome. All right, friends. Anybody else want to share or ask or say? Lisa, you came. Do you just want to say hi? Um,
Hey,
hey, welcome.
hey,
So glad
Wendy.
you could come.
Thanks. I'm loving what you're saying. I really loved what you and Jeff were talking about because I a lot of times delete to the short order cook when I'm at my mom's. And when I'm in the mountains, I'm able to do the how much can I drink?
Hmm.
And it's like I'm choking here. It's like I literally spiritually can't breathe. And I need to be able to breathe here. So that's really helping me say, okay, turn on some light and reach for the divine that's here at your mom's, because it's here. You don't like it here, put that aside, right? Is what I hear Katie say. And what I heard you say was also, Lisa, put the damn galoshes and the, shot glass away, because it's the creation, it's raining the creation, right? REIGN as well as RAINING. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Could I coach you?
Absolutely.
What I see is if you want to be breaking state agreements, there's non-permission for that experience there.
Okay.
And I'll just encourage you to move the permission fence from I can't have this experience, move it out so I can have this experience. I just don't have to talk about it,
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel you. Thank you.
right? Some
I can
people
connect
might
with
don't want
this.
to
Yeah.
hear about it. Doesn't mean you can't be like on the inside.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Kate, what are you noticing to share in this
Yeah,
conversation?
I think, whenever you find yourself back in places and spaces that are of your past, and like if you have grown and developed and shown more, it can be really hard because you don't
Yeah.
fit the picture that they have of you anymore. And so then I find myself dancing between the two, and it's like, where do I land? Where do I land? And sometimes I do a better job of being true to myself than others. But I think it can be really helpful what Wendy just said of like, just because I'm not speaking it out doesn't mean I'm not in here. I'm not living it and feeling it and knowing it and holding that deep. And holding that grounding, holding that
And if I love what you said, Katie, and if I can just keep a little space between my thoughts and my body and my feelings, that really helps me. But
Yeah.
you're right, I can be 16 and scared again in a New York second, right? Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Protection
I
mode.
agree. I've
too.
been I haven't lived in New Jersey since before I learned this stuff. And my friend my friend Scott, he'd read me and I'd go back to New Jersey. He'd just be like, oh my God, Wendy. Like he'd just totally revert for so many years. And even as time went on, and I'd be better, but still, and it was only like last year, after 20 years of practice, last year that I found myself really holding in a different way. Not perfect or anything, but holding my who I really am, showing up, in people and places and things that think they know that, who I am, and I'm, eternally 12 or something.
That's
So
huge.
it's huge.
It's huge.
To be able to hold in the face of that is a big deal. And I really honor people who stay where they are, because I've been moved. Like, I was in Seattle for 16 years and it was time, and like weird shit happened. But then next thing you know, I'm on the East Coast, but not New Jersey. It's the wildest thing. And not held back by the childhood stuff.
Wow.
So
I can only hold it for a few seconds and I'll close with that. 5 or 10 seconds, and then I'm back in the picture that I'm trying to get out of. Thanks,
I hear
ladies.
you. I hear you. All right. Anything else? Questions, comments? Especially anything for Katie.
That's it.
Jen?
Hi.
Hey.
I just had like 3 different things pop to mind. I think it was you, Wendy. It was some teacher at the Blue House that led a workshop where the idea was running amusement, and that just totally did me well. And I'm sure it was you, because the way it plays over in my mind sounds like the way you would do things. And you had us. I'm putting it on you, and I don't know who it was. To picture somebody that was an issue to you, and figure a way to run amusement on that. And my husband's within hearing distance, so I have to apologize. It was his mom. and she used to pick on me and try to start fights, and
Yeah.
I think she thought she was being cute, and it felt like she was picking on me and trying to start fights.
Yeah.
And so in that moment, I came to a point like, why not? Where I'm here sitting in a chair listening to Wendy. Why not run amusement on it and just go, oh, that's so Polly. That is just, wow. Of course she would hassle me about the peas. That's just Polly. Can I be amused by Polly? And I don't have to make fun of her. And there's a difference between running amusement and mocking her and putting her into a thing, because that's her thing, and I don't want to do that. And so I literally, in that experience, if I could run amusement on Polly long enough, I don't know, it was just one of those evening things, and it was over. It held, and it was so nice. And I'm able to do that with other people's belief systems. And when you were talking about bullshit, that just summarizes down to the letters BS, which, if you can call it just their belief system, and as old stuff comes around, like my old churchy, I was a church lady for a while, and my old church lady things, it's like, I wouldn't want certain people to know what I believe in now. It's like, hey, that's even my belief system that I need to mess with and fix up a little bit. And so when I run into people who want me to believe in Jesus, I just tell them I'm a believer, and I just don't tell them all the stuff that I believe in. And so those are my 3 things. I'm a believer. I'm absolutely a believer. You would not believe what I believe. You could not fathom what I believe. You might not believe what I believe. I own it for my own self. And so I can be that sort of, I used to do it as self-deprecation, or however you spell that word, where I would make jokes on myself. But now I've taken it to a more comfortable level where it's like, oh, that's just me. You don't have to own my stuff. I'm okay with it. You don't have to be okay with it. And like when I say that the humanity is going through an upgrade, I believe in the evolution, the human evolution is happening now. And I totally believe this, and it's all for the good. And people look at me going, are you blind? Are you stupid? And it's like, no, I can't believe it. It's like, oh, you don't have to. You can know that somebody does. And I'm okay with that. And if I can hold that for you, I'll hold that for you. But it's just, let it be BS to you. That's fine. It's just a belief system. So I guess that's 4 points. And Rich is like hanging over my shoulder, and maybe he wants to say
I just want to say that's one of the reasons why I love her so much.
You're awesome, Rich. So glad to see you.
Anyway, so those are the things that came to mind today, and I know that there have been people. Actually, there's somebody I think in this circle here that used to get irritated with me, kind of being Pollyanna. Everything's all good and rosy, and it's like, hey, you don't have to. I'll just own it. You don't have to. You can be bothered by it. That's fine. I'll let you. So those are my things.
That's awesome.
I'm really
Thanks,
glad
Jen.
to be here. Showing up as I really am is kind of my what I've come to. It may have taken 60 some years to get there, but I'm 71 now, and so I'm way into that.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Thanks, Jen. All right, friends. I'm gonna do our final meditation, but after that, if you did want to share anything or ask anything, we'll be here for a little longer. But until then, how about we just let the earth support us and let go of what we're done with. And breathe in from the universe, chest and belly, and release. And say hello to your unique sun, shining golden light, shining love, shining some amusement or playfulness that Gretchen was talking about if you want. And let's just posit that you just take a handful of wildflowers and toss them back to everybody else, all their own energy, everybody's own information back to them. And then everybody else is throwing wildflowers too, and get your own back. My opinions, my expectations, my desires, my energy, my information back to me. Especially throw a few extra wildflowers at Katie and I, because we were doing more sharing. And we'll show the information back to you. And I just wanna, as you can just sit and sit and let be for just a short time. I'm gonna read through some of the topics that are related to love in the experience of this practice, just for you to be being with as we move forward into the rest of the month. I hope that whoever is listening, that you'll want to come play and practice. You're very welcome. And along with the information of how to get here, you probably received information how to get there. We start tomorrow morning. So no pressure if you come or if you don't. Some really great topics are belonging, being real in the world, getting all our needs met, whether we're in or out of relationship or relationships. Experiencing intimacy, and that's way beyond sex. Boundaries and staying in our own lane. The lovely oneness experience. Experiencing connection with all our relations, including the earth, spirit, and real life with friends and family. Romantic love. Validation and living in sacred truth. Saying our truth in relationship, showing up as us. Seeing clearly in relationships and being with what is. Knowing our connection with all, with sacred love. In the flow of sacred love at work and at play. Being what you want, practice. Being the love you want, practice and results. And any other parts of this practice that help support love and relationships. This is some of what we're going to be saying hi to this month. And I hope to see you then. Feel free to go. Thank you so much for coming. But if you'd like to stay and say anything, you're very welcome. Thank you very much. And thank you so much, Katie. So
Thanks
grateful
for
to play
having me.
with you. Good to see you, Candy.